Hey there Pokemon fans from around the world. My name is RJRacoon and I want to talk about the German promotional events named Pokemon Days with you. Pokemon Days were first introduced in 2004 in order to promote new games, new merchandise and so on. Following the main event, special event Pokemon, mostly the mythical Pokemon, were distributed almost every time. On most Pokemon Days, there was a show going on over the duration of the day. A program involving quizzes, raffles, sometimes even drawing contests and karaoke as well. One could get special shirts there, posters and special Pokemon Day memorabilia beside the downloadable event Pokemon. However, some promotional events took place prior to the actual Pokemon Days. These events allowed us players to download a legitimate Mew or Celebi in their own generation. This event took place in several German cities including Cologne, Munich, Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt, as well as in some smaller German cities. The Pokemon you could get there was a Mew for your games of Red, Blue and Yellow. This event in 2001 could bring Celebi onto your copies of Gold and Silver back then, and was also the first event I also attended when I was 8 years old. Back then, it was the only option to get a legitimate Celebi in Western Europe at the time. Way before the release of the Virtual Console of Crystal, where the Celebi event was unlocked already. Back then the only way to get Celebi was over the Japanese Pokemon Communication Center in Goldenrod City. If one connected a Japanese phone with a special Game Boy adapter and attended a paid service, one could get a GS Ball which, after delivered to Kurt, would trigger the event in Ilex Forest. Unfortunately, this event was not released in the Western editions of Crystal, but instead we got the Celebi tour. Once there, young trainers had to queue in a line to transfer a Celebi from a special big Nintendo distribution device, called Mew or in this case Celebi machine. After getting the Celebi, one also got a certificate of attending this event. A certificate which contains a picture of a Celebi surrounded by other Pokemon around the edges. Also your trainer ID was written down on the certificate. Unfortunately, as the original batteries died inside the cartridges of Gold, Silver and Crystal, the save files on them did as well, so unless you transferred it to Pokemon Stadium 2, you had no chance of preserving that Celebi. Mine shared the same fate and was erased from history. Yeah, I only have the certificate proving that I once had a legitimate Celebi in my possession. The very first official Pokemon Day was held in Hamburg, where the Eon ticket was distributed. Since we did not get the e-reader event here at all, up to this day, going to this Pokemon Day in 2004 in Hamburg was the only way to receive the Eon ticket legally. The second event I attended was the 2005 Pokemon Day in Frankfurt. It was also held in several other German cities as well. The Deoxys was distributed back then, or to be more precise about it, the Aurora ticket. One was able to visit the event island of Birth Island in Fire Red and Leaf Green and Emerald with the ticket in the back. After solving a little puzzle, you could find the Deoxys there, and it was up to you to catch it. Prior to the Pokemon Days, there were two exclusive promotional cards distributed, Deoxys and Rayquaza. 2006 in Koblenz, at the Museum of Ehrenbreitstein, there was an exhibition at the time about video game history. During that exhibition from the 4th of June to the 16th of November, there was also a Pokemon Day held on the 24th of September. Pokemon celebrated their 10th anniversary that year. And as usual, it was held in several German cities. Back then, 10 Pokemon at once were distributed. Prior to the events, there was a poll of which Pokemon were the most popular. The 10 most popular Pokemon elected made it to the distribution list. They were Charizard, Pikachu, Articuno, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, Lugia, Ho-Oh, Latias and Latios. On the Pokemon Day, one had to stand in line in order to download one of the Pokemon. For downloading another Pokemon from the list, one had to stand in line again, which took a lot of time. I managed to get my hands on 3 of them before the event ended. All those Pokemon could be obtained with the editions of the 3rd generation. Also, the famous Pokemon bus was back then. Inside the bus, all seats were prepared with the SS and SB consoles, which allowed the players to get a look on the upcoming games of Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue. The Pokémon Day 2007 was held in order to promote the upcoming games of Diamond and Pearl. The Pokémon distributed there was a special Mew with Aura as its original trainer. After a young trainer got his Pokémon Trainer's Handbook, shown here, there were little puzzles one had to solve within several stations built on the Pokémon Day area. One had to take several tasks, doing quizzes and so on. If done so, one got rewarded with little stickers that he or she could put inside the trainer's handbook in order to progress the tasks. Once every sticker was collected, the trainer was rewarded an official Pokémon Trainer medal, and one could also win little goodies like figures. The Pokémon bus was also there, providing demos of Pokémon Diamond and Pearl for the trainers to test. The Pokémon Days of 2008 were once more held in several German cities. Darkrai was distributed for Diamond and Pearl. For me it was the time that Pokémon got a little bit boring, as for many people in my age class back then. Pokémon became some sort of uncool, and even if Pokémon was still a thing and a big part of my life, I didn't attend this event back then. The Pikachu bus was also back then there, providing fans with demos for the upcoming Mystery Dungeon 2 games. The Pokémon Days of 2009 were held in the following German cities. The event Pokémon distributed there was a Regigigas. The Pokémon Day of 2010 was the last event I attended. The event was held in following German cities. This time no event Pokémon was distributed officially. There was a huge program to promote the newly games of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That was still the time where Pokémon and I had a difficult relationship. I attended the event because of my love for Gen 2, as, with their remakes, they are my most favorite Pokémon games until today. This was also the last appearance of the old yellow Pikachu bus. Fans had the option to sign the bus, which I also did. Soonly afterwards, it got sold on eBay for a charity reason. The yellow Pikachu bus was instead replaced with a Pokémon-themed Crystal Streamliner. This event was held in the following cities. The event Pokémon distributed there was Zoroark for Pokémon Black and White editions. The 2012 events were held in the following cities. The event Pokémon distributed there was a Pikachu and a Keldeo. The last Pokémon Day in 2013 was about the distribution of the Sinnoh trio in their shiny variants. The thing is that you couldn't get all 3 shiny Sinnoh legends at one place. You had to attend different Pokémon Days in different cities at different times in order to get all 3 of them. For Dialga, the Pokémon Days where it was distributed was. For Palkia, the events where it was distributed was. And last, for Giratina, the events where it was distributed were the following. This was the last Pokémon Day in Germany. The succeeding events since then are called the Pokémon Kids Tour. No event Pokémon was distributed since then in an event compared to the old Pokémon Days, and it is more oriented towards new players instead of the old fanbase. All in all, I have to say that attending the events were exciting. Not only were they the only opportunity to get the most mythical Pokémon legally, in order to collect and complete the Pokédex, but the events were also a nice place to meet other people who share the same passion for Pokémon. I hope you enjoyed a little window to the past, my personal experience with the events that are gone forever now. They were part of my childhood as Pokémon itself, and it's always interesting to see how Pokémon was promoted all around the world. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!